Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome back. Joining me in studio now is journalist and author Jim Marrs. Welcome. We're here to talk about your book, Population Control: How Corporate Owners Are Killing Us.
Yeah, pretty serious topic, Leanne. And I really encourage people to take a look at this, not just because it's my book and I want to sell a book. I want people to understand that the discussion has gone past politics and it's gone past even philosophies. But we're into self-defense now.
Right.
Because if you listen to the words of the ruling elite, the oligarchy, the Illuminati, the Occupy calls them the 1%. I say it's more like 1/10 of 1%. But they really make no bones about the fact that they want to reduce the human population.
Mm.
And they're doing it. It's interesting because most of these people are eugenicists. They accept and have bought into the eugenics movement, which is let's improve the human race. And if your skin color or your bone structure or your IQ doesn't measure up to their idea of a Superman, then they would just as soon see you go away. In fact, in the 1930s in the United States, most states had sterilization laws. And if you didn't come up to their standards, I mean, you could be involuntarily sterilized. In Germany, they picked up on that and they carried it to its logical extremes. And we had World War II and the Holocaust. They said, we got some groups of people here we don't like, so we just kill them. And so eugenics kind of fell into disrepute there. But these people at the very top, they still buy into this. They still feel like overpopulation is the basic underlying problem in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they are willing to do anything and everything to try to do that. And what they're doing is, and what I detail in my book, Population Control, is how they're using bad food and bad water and bad vaccines, bad air to basically turn us into a death culture.
Mm-hmm.
A culture that is dedicated more towards death than life. And amazingly enough, these people are not stupid. So, people say, well, why would they want to kill off their own populations and their own consumers? Well, they want to trim it. And by trimming it, they get rid of some of the very young, the very old, the weakest segments of society. And then the people in the middle, they sicken them. Mm-hmm. They become ill. And then they have to go see the doctor more frequently, and the doctors prescribe more medicines, more pills, more drugs. And so it's an amazing situation because as they cull the human population, they're actually profiting from it because of their ownership of these major international corporations. And Leanne, let me quick point out, I'm not necessarily just against all corporate life. I mean, let's face it, there's so many corporations. And most of the people who work for a corporation, who sit in the little cubicles or drive the trucks or work on the production lines, these are all perfectly good people. In fact, I would even go so far as say that some of the officers, presidents, vice presidents, these are sharp, educated, caring people, probably have a Harvard business degree,
mm-hmm.
but they're not in charge. It's the CEO, it's the board chairman, it's one of the directors or majority stockholder. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have the idea that to be a majority stockholder, you have to have 51% or more of the stock of a company. But this isn't really true. If you only have 5% of the stock of a big corporation, but no one else has more than, say, 4%, you're the majority stockholder, and what you say goes.
Right.
And it's these people, that's who I'm talking about, who make the decisions and set the policies. And I think what I'm talking about is you'll have a guy at the top of the pyramid, and he's made aware that some of the ingredients of their food product, for example, is actually harmful and will debilitate the consumer, make them sick, and may even eventually kill them. Well, that's okay for him because he wants the population reduced. So he tells the president, the vice presidents, that this is okay, this is good, it's been tested, we know, and then they pass that down, and everybody in the organization really thinks that they're really doing good.
Right. They've got to engage in that corporate spin.
Exactly. I think we've seen this in the issue of fluoride. Sodium fluoride before World War II was sold as a rat poison. But then the Germans found out that you could put just a little bit of this poison in the water supply, and it would numb down the drinker and make him docile. And so they put it in the water of their concentration camps.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much like people drink alcohol. Alcohol's a poison. You drink it strong enough, quick enough, it will kill you.
Correct.
But they water it down and they mix it up and put some flavoring in it, and then you get a little buzz. Well, it's the same thing with fluoride. And so now, though, what we have is we have no non-medical people in these cities dumping sodium fluoride into the water supply so that everybody, man, women, children, are all getting this cumulative poison that can eventually work on your immunization system. And it's basically involuntary medication.
Correct. Yeah, we've made that argument many times. People say, well, why would they do that? It's going to affect them too and their kids. No, they've got water filters. They're eating the organic food. They're not over at the grocery store. They've
Exactly.
They're eating local. And well, so what do you think is the biggest corporate threat? I mean, we've got the vaccine industry. We've got the genetically modified foods. Here we have Congress just passed the Orwellian Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act of 2015, which actually will ban states from requiring GMO food labeling. So it's just totally going past
And
state
what was the
sovereignty.
name of that again?
Orwellian.
Yeah, really. Right. Here's some Orwellian newspeak.
Yeah, well, we know they like to name it the exact opposite. It's called the Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act of 2015.
The Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act that prevents you from knowing if you're getting GMO products. That's just beyond the beyond. Why don't they call it the No GMO Act?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's just no freedom. Okay, so the corporate, I mean, what should we really be worried about here? We got the CDC suggesting mothers delay breastfeeding to enhance their vaccines because the mother's milk will, try to fight off the vaccine because it's a live. I mean, it's insane to me. The CDC is now telling moms, to delay that, or the first thing they want to give people who are depressed is.
Unfortunately, this is an appeal to authority. Okay, which is one of the oldest tricks in the book when you're having a debate or any kind of argument. You appeal to authority. Well, they say, yeah, but we've got these studies that show that vaccines are perfectly safe and harmless, Well, wait a minute. You find out that all these studies that show that they're harmless have been done by the very people who manufacture the vaccines. Right. And in fact, there are now whistleblowers out in the public saying that they have fudged the numbers. They have fudged the studies. The studies have been slanted and misreported. And that's by the people that are actually involved in it. It's really incredible. And of course, they don't talk about the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, which was passed by Congress back in the mid 80s. That absolves the pharmaceutical corporations from any liability.
They're free to do whatever they wish.
And they say it's safe, but between then and now, they've paid out over $3 billion to families whose children have been harmed by vaccines. People need to find out what they're doing to us so you can take countermeasures, so you can protect your family, your loved ones, because what you don't know can hurt you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely your book is going to be filled with a lot of really important information. And I know you're going to be co-hosting with David Knight next week, so that'll be very interesting. But everyone needs to stick around because we are going to have part 2 of this interview. I really want to talk to you about the Disclosure Project and why so many people now are talking about not contacting alien life form out there. And we got the Vatican coming out and talking about this planetary council. What are they preparing us for? So definitely, you got to wait till next week to see all that, but stick around. Thank you, Jim Mars.
To celebrate the birth of our country and give a big thanks to all the info warriors out there, we are now offering free shipping on every item shipped out of the InfowarsStore.com warehouse. That's free shipping on all t-shirts, books, and DVDs. Free shipping on Molon Labe and 1776 belt buckles, which are also 25% off while supplies last. Free shipping on all of our InfowarsLife.com nutraceuticals. If it's in the InfowarsStore.com warehouse, it's shipping for free, all during the month of July. It's our way of saying thanks to the true heart and soul of this operation, who stand beside us and support us as we wage an info war for liberty and freedom for all. InfowarsStore.com, free shipping for the month of July.